What's up, people? It is your boy Baddog back with another New York Giants video. As always, guys, girls, thank you so much for watching. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up. That always helps out huge. Hit the subscribe button, ring a ding, ding, ding the bell so you know when I do a Giants video, Yankees video, go live, or anything that I put on this channel. That way you'll know, and that way you can come on here and say, you're right, Baddog. You can say, Baddog, you're an asshole. Either way, hopefully you're watching, and hopefully, like I said, share out the channel, all that good stuff. But today I came across an article. I think Zach Wissink is the one that wrote this for Yardbarker. And Tiki Barber made what you would consider an insane claim about Daniel Jones. By the way, Tiki Barber is going to have his own video here probably tomorrow because I gotta talk about Tiki Barber. But Tiki made an insane claim about Daniel Jones. Insane, bold, crazy, whatever you want to call it. Some people will say Tiki Barber's out of his mind. Some people say Tiki Barber's right on the money. You can always let me know in the comment section what you think about this. Tiki Barber said Daniel Jones is a top 10 quarterback. Excuse me. Top 10 quarterback in the NFL, and the second best quarterback in the National Football Conference, the NFC. The only quarterback that Tiki Barber said was better than Daniel Jones was Jalen Hurts. And again, I'm not going to compare Hurts and Daniel Jones. You can come to your own conclusion. Like I said in the video yesterday, the one thing you definitely know is that Jalen Hurts has a much better situation, or had a much better situation than Daniel Jones did last year, and probably even so this year. We don't have an A.J. Brown. We don't have an offensive line like Philadelphia does. But I do believe the Giants got a lot better, and that's why I expect a better season from Daniel Jones than he had last year. I'm not expecting Daniel Jones to be an all-pro. Pro Bowl is possible, but again, I'm not going to put numbers on Daniel Jones. It really depends on what the coaching staff expects him to do, but I do think that the offense will open up a lot more this year than you saw last year. You started to see the offense open up at the end of the month. Or at the end of the year, rather, December, and in the playoffs, the offense seemed to get a little bit better. I thought about it, and I said, let's go through the quarterbacks in the NFC, and then you can tell me whether you think Daniel Jones is better than these quarterbacks or not. I'm looking at this list, and I'm thinking Tiki Barber could be onto something here. We all know that the majority of the great quarterbacks are in the AFC. Your Justin Herberts, your Joe Burrows, your Josh Allens, your Aaron Rodgers now, your Pat Mahomes. They're all in the AFC. So let's take a look at the NFC list of quarterbacks. And let's take a look at it. There's Dak Prescott. Now, obviously, Cowboy fans will sit there and never say Daniel Jones is better than Dak Prescott. There's no way Daniel Jones is better than Dak Prescott. Nobody's going to say that. No Cowboys fans is going to say that. My guy, Lord Brunson, will tell you that. My guy, LB, shout out to LB. He'll tell you. But Dak Prescott regressed a little bit and has regressed. Led the league in interceptions last year and missed a handful of games. Listen, Dak Prescott, you can say he's better than Daniel Jones. You can say he's not better than Daniel Jones. Either way, Dak Prescott has been set up for success. Always had a great offensive line. He had Zeke Elliott in his prime. He had Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott there. He had Amari Cooper. He had CeeDee Lamb. He had Jason Witten. He had an incredible supporting cast for years there, and he's won exactly one more playoff game than Daniel Jones has in his career. So you can take a look at that. I think Daniel Jones is going this way. I think Dak Prescott may be going that way. And, I would take Daniel Jones over Dak Prescott right now. Maybe I'm being biased. I don't know. But I can see where people would think that Daniel Jones is better than Dak Prescott at this moment. Sam Howell, Washington. My guy Louis T loves Sam Howell. Thinks he's going to be not the worst quarterback in the division by the end of the year. I love Louis, but I think he's a little crazy there. I think Sam Howell will be the worst starting quarterback in our division the entire year. But we don't know anything about Sam Howell, so it's hard to say that he's better than Daniel Jones. Detroit is Jared Goff. Now, if you're starting a franchise, you want Jared Goff, you want Daniel Jones. Jared Goff had a nice season last year. Jared Goff has had a pretty good career. I don't know if it lived up to be the number one overall pick, but he's a solid quarterback. Again, he hasn't had the best situation. It was better than Daniel Jones this year, most likely. Their offense was a lot better. But again, if you're asking me who I'd rather have as a New York Giant, Jared Goff or Daniel Jones, I'm taking Daniel Jones. So I would give the edge to Daniel Jones there. I'm not saying Daniel Jones is head and shoulders better than Jared Goff, but I do think that he is better. And I certainly, if I'm starting a team tomorrow, I'd much rather have Daniel Jones under center than Jared Goff. Justin Fields in Chicago, no way. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought this about Jalen Hurts. I said Jalen Hurts would never be able to make the throws. I don't think Jalen Hurts could throw the ball deep. I think Jalen Hurts is a great athlete. I don't think he's a great quarterback. Right now, that's where Justin Fields is to me. Better athlete than Daniel Jones. Quite frankly, I don't think there's an argument there. He's probably one of the best athletes at the quarterback position. Doesn't make you a good quarterback. Makes you a good athlete. He's been terrible in Chicago. Of course, Chicago's a terrible situation around there too, but he's been extremely inaccurate. He doesn't really throw the ball well. And, he's won like 4 games in his entire career. Again, Chicago's been a dumpster fire of an organization. But I'm not saying Justin Fields is better than Daniel Jones. Not right now. It's not happening. So, no. Jordan Love in Green Bay. We don't know anything about Jordan Love. So you can't say Jordan Love is better than Daniel Jones. We'll leave it at that. I'm not going to get into great detail about that. Jordan Love, we'll see what he is. Maybe at the end of the year, maybe Jordan Love is the next Aaron Rodgers. Maybe he is the next Brett Favre. Maybe he's the next, Jamarcus Russell. Who the hell knows? We don't know what Jordan Love is going to be until he plays. Here's where it gets a little tricky, these next 3 quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins. Is Daniel Jones better than Kirk Cousins? I think he is. Again, I'm not saying that he's way better than Kirk Cousins, but look at Daniel Jones does not have Jordan Jefferson. He had a good running back. I mean, Saquon's a great running back. Dalvin Cook, they're probably in the same class, but I think Kirk Cousins is definitely in a better situation. Well, Kirk Cousins has never won anything big in his entire career. I don't know if Kirk Cousins ever won a playoff game. And, of course, Daniel Jones beat him in the playoffs last year. So, again, all things being considered equal here, if I'm starting a team tomorrow, I'm taking Daniel Jones over Kirk Cousins. Okay, I don't know if that's a slam dunk, but I think he's better than Kirk Cousins. Kyler Murray in Arizona. Now, if these two were drafted, there's no way in hell I'd ever even consider this a contest. I would have told you Kyler Murray all day, every day, twice on Sunday. Give me Kyler Murray, Kyler Murray, Kyler Murray. Athletically and talent-wise, he's better. I don't think there's any question. I think Kyler Murray is one of the most physically gifted quarterbacks in the league outside of his diminutive stature. He's probably 5'9.5". The problem with Kyler Murray is the guy works harder at video games than he does studying film. It's so much so that they put a clause in his contract that he has to have a certain amount of game film study, or his contract, whatever. I don't know what the exact details are, but there's something in that contract that says he's got to study game film. Maybe by the end of the year, Kyler Murray actually focuses on being a quarterback in the NFL and works hard. He could be the best quarterback in the NFC. He's got that kind of talent, but he doesn't have that kind of work ethic, not so far. Love him or hate him, Daniel Jones has an incredible work ethic. It's not questioned. The man has an incredible work ethic. So, again, that one's up for debate. I don't know if I would say Daniel Jones is better than Kyler Murray. That's just me. Again, I'm a Sooner fan. I'm a big Kyler Murray fan. I'm disappointed in the fact that he's been injured and the fact that he doesn't really seem to take his job seriously. Again, he's kind of relying on talent alone. When you get to this level, it's a lot more than just talent. It is about work. I would never take Kyler Murray's work ethic over Daniel Jones. Talent, though, I got to give the edge to Kyler Murray. Again, I don't think Kyler Murray can handle New York. That's a tough one for me. I'll leave that as a toss-up, but I think Kyler Murray's more talented. I'm just going to say that, but he certainly doesn't work as hard. So you leave that one up for debate. It's kind of like Jalen Hurts. You can leave that up for debate too, right? Because Jalen Hurts is a much better situation. If Jalen Hurts was on the Giants and Daniel Jones was on the Eagles, would Eagle fans tell you that Jalen Hurts is better than Daniel Jones? But look at it that way. That's the way I always say this. I can sit here and be honest about it. Some Giants fans get pissed off at me about that, that I was ragging on Daniel Jones when he played poorly. But I'm honest. I try to be as honest and unbiased as I can be. But if you look at those two quarterbacks and you put that team around Daniel Jones, I think Daniel Jones wins the Super Bowl, if I'm being completely honest. So Jalen Hurts didn't win the Super Bowl. But again, maybe that's me being biased. But again, I'm just saying that's a toss-up. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is better than Hurts. I'm not saying Hurts is better than Daniel Jones. Matt Stafford, I think in his prime, he was one of the most underrated quarterbacks ever. But he's dealt with some injuries. He had a bad year last year, dealt with some injuries. And again, starting a team, I think Stafford's definitely in the twilight of his career. I would definitely take Daniel Jones over Matt Stafford at this point in their careers, no question about it. The Saints got Derek Carr. Daniel Jones has been compared to Derek Carr a lot in his career. I think Daniel Jones is better than Derek Carr. Again, Derek Carr has played with some of the best receivers. He played with Devontae Adams. He played with Amari Cooper. He's had Josh Jacobs. They've had good offenses. I think Carr was on his way to being a really good quarterback until he tore his knee. He's never been the same since. I think Derek Carr is a decent quarterback. I don't think he's better than Daniel Jones. I'm just going to say that. And when I'm going through this list, don't be like, oh, Baddog, you think Daniel Jones is an elite quarterback? No, we're not talking about elite quarterbacks. Elite quarterbacks are all in the AFC. All the elite quarterbacks play in the AFC. There's no elite quarterback in the NFC. That's why we're making this discussion. That's why Tiki Barber's claim of Daniel Jones being the second best quarterback in the NFL and a top 10 the NFC and a top 10 quarterback in the NFL isn't as far-fetched as it may sound, believe it or not. Geno Smith in Seattle. Now, people could say Geno Smith is better than Daniel Jones. Again, Geno Smith had a better statistical season than Daniel Jones. But look at who Geno Smith is throwing to. We don't have a DK Metcalf. We don't have a Kenneth Walker. We don't have a Tyler Lockett. I mean, maybe there's a guy close to Tyler Lockett on this team. But he doesn't have those pieces around him. I can't take Geno Smith over Daniel Jones. Geno Smith had a great season. I'm happy for Geno. I always thought Geno was a good guy. Played really hard. He was in some bad situations. He dealt with some injuries, dealt with a lot of crap. But Geno's, again, he's been around in a long time. He's not a spring chicken anymore. And I got to take Daniel Jones over Geno Smith, even if it is by an inkling. Again, I'm not saying Daniel Jones is dunking on all these guys, but if I'm taking my pick to start for the New York Giants tomorrow, I'm taking Daniel Jones over Geno Smith. Geno's been here before, right? So, I don't know. In San Francisco, there's Brock Purdy, there's Trey Lance. I'd imagine San Fran is going to stick with Trey Lance. They did draft him third overall. If I'm not mistaken, they traded up to get him. I could be wrong about that. I don't remember exactly how they got Trey Lance. I thought they did trade up to get Trey Lance. Obviously, he's dealt with a lot of injuries, so there's no way you're going to tell me Trey Lance is better than Daniel Jones. I would never buy that. And Brock Purdy, he had a great rookie season. Mr. Irrelevant. Came out of nowhere. San Francisco was rolling into the NFC Championship game, and obviously Brock Purdy got hurt and couldn't do much of anything. But again, man, I don't know if there's a big enough sample size. Let teams get film on Brock Purdy. Let's see how Brock Purdy does this year. Let's see if he even starts. I'd take Daniel Jones over Trey Lance all day, any day. Brock Purdy, again, I just don't think there's enough on him. I think that's kind of an incomplete. So I would probably still take Daniel Jones over Brock Purdy. Again, I'm not saying I'm dunking, but I think Daniel Jones is definitely more talented than Brock Purdy. It doesn't always mean anything. Talent doesn't win alone. A lot of times it's your intangibles. Brock Purdy had those intangibles. There's no question about it. But again, you're throwing to Deebo Samuel. You're throwing to Brandon Ayuk. You're throwing to George Kittle. You got Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. I mean, holy shit. I mean, put Daniel Jones on that team, and let's see what the offense does. So I got to take Daniel Jones. Atlanta, they both suck. Desmond Ridder, trash. Tyler Heineke, trash. Ask Sports Live in the ATL, whatever, Sleeta, whatever. Ask him. I don't think he's high in either one of those quarterbacks. We know Daniel Jones is better than both of them. Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay, I'm taking Daniel Jones. Again, when they came out of college, I would have never in a million years said Daniel Jones is going to be better than Baker Mayfield. But you look at the way their NFL careers have gone. Baker Mayfield did drop down a peg. This is his fourth team in his career, right? He was Carolina. He was Cleveland, Carolina, Los Angeles, and now Tampa. He's bounced all over the place, and I think that's going to be his career in the NFL. I think he's going to be a journeyman type of quarterback. It's a shame. I love Baker. I loved his moxie. I loved his cockiness. But at the end of the day, I think that hurt him. Maybe he did get a little, humility. Maybe he is humbled a little bit. Maybe he will have a different attitude when he plays for Tampa Bay. But again, if I'm starting a team tomorrow, I'm taking Daniel Jones over Baker Mayfield. Carolina, finally, the young kid, Bryce Young. Bryce Young is the first overall pick in the draft. Obviously, has a world of talent coming out of Alabama. We know what Bryce Young is all about at the collegiate level. No idea what he's about at the NFL level. So there's no way I can sit there and tell you that Bryce Young is better than Daniel Jones. There's no way. Maybe he has more talent. But you could say he's more talented than Daniel Jones. He's got better arm strength. He's got this. He's got that. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. We're going to find out. We don't know enough about Bryce Young to know if he's better than Daniel Jones or not. So I'm taking Daniel Jones. So I think Tiki Barber nailed this. I think Tiki Barber's right. I know some Giants fans are going to be pissed off in the chat. You're an idiot, Baddog. You used to hate Daniel Jones, and I think he's the second. Whatever. It is what it is, right? That's the way it goes when you're on YouTube. But, yeah, like I said, man, Hurts, you want to coin toss, Kyler Murray, coin toss. And again, it's not like I think that Daniel Jones dunks on these guys. And I think he dunks on Desmond Ridder and Tyler Heineke. I think he dunks on, Justin Fields. I think he dunks on Sam Howell. But again, I'm not sitting there saying he's dunking on Dak Prescott. I just think he's better than Dak Prescott. I think I would take Daniel Jones over Dak Prescott. I would take Daniel Jones over most of those guys that I, listed the NFC quarterback. So Tiki Barber said Daniel Jones is the second best quarterback in the NFC, thinks he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. You know what to do. If you made it 16 minutes, you're an absolute trooper. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like, subscribe, bring a ding, ding, ding the bell, share the video out with a friend. And as always, give me your comments below. I read them all. And, even the bad ones. They make me laugh sometimes. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Bad Dig and Dizzle, and I am gone.